Check, check, check. How do I am coming out in the speakers to me hearing it?
Hey everybody, it's Rogue Wildy, and today I'm going to be showing you how to defeat Lost Lace. This is less of a tutorial and more or less just me explaining her movements and also the tactics that I used to get by. This may not be the 100% best possible tactic to defeat Lace, but this was how I was able to do it multiple times, and it seemed to be working fine just for me. But I've got the Architect Crest attached along with the Cogfly and the Tacks Tool. These are the tools that I use. I've also got the fractured mask. My nail is completely upgraded, so bear all this in mind when you're watching how the progression goes along. You can see that she's got a variety of attacks. Many you'll recognize from the earlier stage fights with Lace, but now they've got this black tendril kind of variant going for them. So you basically have to learn these movements and learn how to avoid them. Now, best thing I can say, when you get caught in her flurry attack, she's going to parry basically almost after every single move. So she'll land on the ground, or she'll do a dash at you, or she'll jump up in the air, and then she'll follow it up with a parry. If you get caught in that parry, the best way to avoid it is to just jump straight up in the air and hang out there, because she's going to do one of two things. She'll either flurry from the ground, which if you're in the air, you'll be able to avoid, or she's going to teleport into the air and she's going to do a diagonal flurry, like aiming towards the ground. If you're in the air, you can kind of drift to one side and you'll be able to avoid it. But if you're sitting on the ground, chances are you're probably going to get caught in it no matter what you do. So, every time you do get caught in that flurry attack, when she parries your attack, you're going to want to get out of the way. Also, one of the best opportunities to deal damage to her is when she's doing her dash attack. So, if you see her dashing towards you, just get ready, jump up in the air, use your drifter's cloak to kind of float there so you can wait out the tendrils that are popping out of the ground as a result of her dash. And then when she's done her second dash, she's going to disappear and she'll reappear in the air, as long as you're close enough to her. So if you're too far away, then what she'll do is she'll just follow it up with a third dash. But you want to make sure that you're close enough to her so that that second dash becomes a teleport where she'll go in the air, and you can get right below her so that when she comes down diagonally, you can deal some damage to her once she hits the ground. So that's very important. The reason why I'm using the Architect Crest is because it has this kind of drill attack that does double damage. And so you can whittle her health down quite a bit faster. You'll notice I'm also starting to throw out my Cogflies because now we're in the later stages of the fight. I would consider this to be the third stage. This is the first false end to the fight. I think, yeah, first and only false end, but you'll see, it kind of looks like, oh, hey, I beat her, but no, don't get so happy yet. It does get much more difficult after that. So now you can see I'm throwing out my tacks. She's kind of coming through those, so you can see the benefit to using those tools in this fight. Also, the Cogflies are a no-brainer because it's a sentry type tool, no direction needed from you. They just do their thing, and they just whittle her health down even more. So it's definitely good for you to take those out. Bear in mind, if you're doing this fight over and over and over, because it's a really hard one, you're probably going to have to do it 10 or 15 times before you really get the gist of it. You're going to be using up a lot of shards, so maybe reserve the tools for later on. Once you've gotten comfortable with your movements, don't really waste them in the first attempts, because chances of you beating this on your first try are not very likely. Just being realistic, you're probably going to struggle a little bit. Also, if you're not close enough to her for that second or that third dash, just be warned she might also use her tendril attack that has a pretty long reach, so you could get caught up in that. So just make sure that you're really paying attention to her movements so that you can kind of stay close enough that you can take advantage of those windows where you can get your hits in. And then just try to stay focused, because obviously you can see even here in this fight, I do lose my focus a little bit, and I even just stop using my tools altogether because I'm just here trying to stay afloat. But you can see, use any and all opportunities to bind when you can, and try not to panic. Easier said than done. Obviously, the fight is extremely hectic, but once you get her patterns down, it really just comes down to keeping a cool head and not panicking once you start to take damage, because you can see the Cogflies are doing some pretty significant damage to her. So you can just kind of keep your space, let them whittle the health down, but then get your hits in when you think it's safe. You don't really have to rush and try to get the fight done in a really short amount of time, because chances are it's not going to work out like that. You're going to struggle. I think when these waves of black sludge come by, they do take out your tacks, so don't forget to throw those back down once you see those pass by, because she's going to use that attack more and more regularly as you get into like the third stage of the fight. And we're drawing to the end here, so this is when it's most important to stay nice and calm, because you definitely don't want to lose when you're right about to finish her off. So just keep calm and you'll be just fine. Hey everybody, it's Rogue Wildy. When I uploaded my first video almost 2 months ago, I had no idea what I was doing. Arguably, I still don't. I just know I love these games and I want to help people enjoy them the way that I do. Every comment, every view, every person who stops by, it keeps me going. So if this video helps you today, it would mean a lot if you hit like and especially subscribe. It's free and it pushes me closer to that dream of 1,000 subs. Alright, let's get into it.